Now let's see how we can plot the points on the coordinate system accurately using the graph scale. What is the scale? Before we try to understand the Cartesian plane and locating the points in the Cartesian plane, the scale is the base which gives us approximation in locating the points. Let's see in brief about the scale used in plotting the points. Let's see what a scale is. Imagine I take an x-axis and a y-axis with origin, with xx dash being the x-axis and yy dash being the y-axis. Now scale is the measurement used when we move the points along x and y-axis. For example, when I move with a scale, when I locate with points 1, 2, 3, 4, etc., I mean that I have measured this to be 1 unit, and on the graph paper, the grid lines are generally at a distance of 1 centimeter each, and that grids are taken as the base of the scale. That is, for every grid which is generally denoted by the scale for x-axis is 1 centimeter equals 1 unit if this is taken to be 1 unit each, and y-axis, if I take 1 centimeter to be 1 unit, then in this case I refer to this distance of 1 centimeter on the graph sheet grids to be 1 unit what I identify. Similarly, on the left side, I take every 1 centimeter of the grid on graph paper as 1 unit, so every unit refers to this. Because I also refer my y-axis with 1 centimeter equals 1 unit, I have this to be 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and this would be -1, -2, -3, -4, and so on and so forth. So I have each of the coordinates plotted on the scale of x and y axis. Is how we plot the scale. Scale is very essential when we plot on the graph sheet, because scale gives the accurate measurement of the point from its initial position 0. Let's see another example through which we can understand the scale more better. Now that we have discussed about scale in the previous session, let's try to take another example problem to understand the concept more better on scale used in plotting the points. For example, I have an example problem which says plot the point (1, 2) using the scale (1 centimeter equals 1 unit on y-axis and 1 centimeter equals 0.5 unit on x-axis. Now let's try to understand the scaling concept better using this example problem. The example problem reads clearly, plot the point 1, 2 using the scale. That means the scale is clearly referred out here with suitable distance fixed. Now the scale in this problem says 1 centimeter is 1 unit which we need to take on y-axis, and every 1 centimeter of the grid in the graph sheet should be measured with 0.5 units on x-axis. So let's see how we understand the scale concept practically on the graph sheet. Now that I have the point, let me just take the xy coordinate system, x dash, y dash. Now here my point refers to 1 centimeter is 1 unit on y-axis. Initially I start with x-axis, which says that every 1 centimeter of the grid on the graph sheet must be taken as 0.5 units. So here I have my origin and these are the grids separated on the graph sheet. Now these 1 centimeter grids separated on the graph sheet are referred to be taken as 0.5 units on x-axis, as clearly referred in the problem. Therefore, I do not take this as 1, but I take this to be 0.5 units. Indirectly, the 1 centimeter measurement on the graph sheet by this grid refers to 0.5 units actually by the scale, is how we understand the scaling concept. Similarly, the distance from here to here must be 0.5. Therefore, the next value would be 1, because 1 minus 0.5 would give me 0.5, or 0.5 is added further. You can also refer this as 0.5 added to this refers to 1. So when I want to find the next coordinate, it is about adding 0.5 to the previous value of 1, which gives me 1.5. The next is adding 0.5 to the previous, which is 1.5, which gives me 2. And then on the left, minus 0.5, minus 1, minus 1.5, and minus 2, etc. This is how the scaling is done on x-axis according to the given question. Next comes the scaling on y-axis. How do we scale on y-axis? Clearly on y-axis, the measurement refers 1 centimeter to be taken as 1 unit. So every 1 centimeter of the grid is taken to be 1 unit. So I get this to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And every unit down is referred as minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, etc. is how we get the different grids out here. So scaling on x-axis is done with 1 centimeter equals 0.5 units, and scaling on y-axis is done with 1 centimeter equal to 1 unit. And then comes the locating of the point on the Cartesian plane, this Cartesian plane. So let's see how we can locate the point on this respective scaled coordinate plane. Clearly I see the point here. Let me denote with 1, 2. Now here this refers to the x coordinate being 2, 1, and my y coordinate being 2. So let's see how I can locate with x equals 1 and y equals 2. So as I see the x coordinates moving horizontally along the right and left, and the y coordinates moving vertically up and down, so clearly the x coordinate moves 1 unit to the right. This being positive, it moves 1 unit right, and then it moves 2 units up. So I get the point to be here, which is 1 unit and 2 units to this, and therefore I get the point P, which is exactly out here. So this is my point 1, 2, depending on the scale as given respectively for x and y axis. So my point is 1, 2 is how we get it. It's easy. Plotting the point is based on scaling the plotting and then locating the point respectively through that scale.
If you like this video, please give a thumbs up. Please subscribe to our channel to get more videos on CBSE syllabus.